I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Tenrousei is here. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hey,
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming in. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Sure, absolutely. Hi, I'm Tenrousei. Gosh, how do I... See, I've never been especially good at introducing myself, so I'm going to botch. I might botch just a tiny bit.
That's
Apologies. Okay. Typically, I just refer to myself as like a one-man comedy act, mostly because, I'm doing multiple different characters and I do a lot of different streaming, and I'm trying to learn a variety of different skills from art to eventually one day, working with audio workstations.
Ooh.
And yeah,
that's pretty cool. And are you kind of doing this self-taught as you go?
More or less. I don't really have a lot of excess money, so I try to learn everything as I can on the side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's even just knowing, even if later on you do get a chance to take a course in it, having some basics going in is going to help you. And there's nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way I like to look at it.
Yeah. And we used to have those courses in the back of comic books. Learn how to be an engineer.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing some of those.
Yeah.
I haven't read comic books in a long time, but I remember those.
Oh, but they were way back in the day. Back in the days where you only got comic books when you were sick, and and they've got you 3 random ones, and you never know what happened next. What's going to happen to Superman? I don't know. You won't get another one for another year.
And then nowadays, actually, you know what? That'll be a whole tangent, so yes. I'll put that aside for now.
Just hold on to that one for the moment. So what got you involved in VTubing? Were you content creating before that?
Actually, no. VTubing was kind of like my introduction, more or less, to the content creation world. I remember dabbling a little bit, and I always played games, back in the 2010s. I'd be like, oh, maybe I should record this kind of stuff, do Let's Plays, because Let's Plays were always like a really big thing, and I imagine to some degree they are, but I feel like for the most part, you only see Let's Plays on some of the more veteran pages on YouTube, for example.
Right.
It wasn't really until
some of the folks who were already there, as far as popularity goes. Go ahead. It was back in 2020. I think I got started.
Mm-hmm.
Well, during the everybody stay in time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and did you see somebody else doing it and picked up on it? Were you watching anybody at the time?
Yeah. Actually, I had a lot of inspiration from some of the big industries at the time. Your HoloLives, your Nichisanjis, etc. Before everything got a little more open and well known in regards to that.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody was so innocent back then.
Oh, absolutely. But I think there's still a degree of innocence, but now there's a lot more knowledge, and a lot more knowledge can be both a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it is. Well, I think it's going to just shape things a little bit differently in the future, which isn't going to be bad. I think there's going to be. I'm really thinking that there's going to be more in the meantime, very informal groups to start with, and then
because I was actually watching some of your interviews earlier just beforehand, kind of get myself in the mindset, and I saw that you were talking about that Irium platform, for example.
Yeah,
I've tried to watch it, but I don't know if it's just if it's not available in Canada or something, or if it's only mobile.
Yeah,
it's hard to say.
It is only mobile. And I'm not sure you can get it in Canada because.
Because that's what I remember. I was talking with someone who streams on Irium, and they mentioned that it's not available in Canada.
Yeah.
So
it's basically Japan and the United States. I think it is available on.
I see.
Yes, you can't have it. A lot of other things.
I had $1 for every time someone's told me that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have it because they wouldn't give it to me because I can't have it. That concept. It's an interesting concept, and I'm sure it'll expand as more people get involved in it. But it's a very different. It's a very different type of streaming too. For someone who's got experience, like I just did an interview today with someone who has stand-up experience, and they're doing Irium. That makes sense. Stand-up and ad-lib type of things, that perfect that sort of thing. But for other people who are leaning on games and such, there's no games to lean on. It's you and them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so Irium is just straight talking.
Yep.
Interesting. I see.
And it's the one of the things that's very interesting to me in watching is that the lag is non-existent.
Yeah, that's one thing I saw them advertising. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting.
I say hi, and they say hi before I finish typing. That's how fast it goes.
Dang.
That's what the heck, you know? It
feels like a negative delay. It's like somehow they've invented like the beginner's time travel.
Yes, the reverse time through the. If you type more letters, you'll lose like a day and a half. It really is. It's amazing how fast it is and the response. But you have to be very agile as a streamer because you don't want to miss anything. And as things are going fast, you get so many people online. So
yeah, I feel like if you were just doing chatting, that would probably be a bit easier to keep up. But I know that sometimes people they talk with their hands, they look all over the place as they're thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm all over the place.
So imagine that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, now that I'm not behind a microphone in a radio booth, I'm all over the place.
You know what? That's understandable.
Yeah, because you can only do so much with a microphone. Here's a little behind the curtain. I do not have a microphone stand for these interviews.
Sorry, what was that?
I do not use a microphone stand for these interviews. I hold it in my hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think I can get more comfortable that way, and I can.
Oh, you know what?
I want to talk off the thing.
Point.
I can go back and bring it back very easily without having a squeak of the of those. And plus, I've had microphones hit me in the head before with those things, and I don't want to do with it. They're not always very reliable, especially when you don't spend any money.
Oh yeah.
So, but it just to me it's a little more one-on-one, personal to do that sort of thing. As you know, your mileage may vary on any of that stuff. So that's one of the things about this particular medium is that everybody gets to go about it their own way.
Very true. I know that myself. Typically, I mostly do games, but I've actually been getting more into the art and discussion sides.
Have you been doing art streams?
I've done a little bit. So I've mostly been doing art. I started doing art earlier this year, and it was primarily as just like gifts to other streamers that I really like. I've been working on one right now. I'm still very much an amateur with art, so it does take me a very long time. And but yeah, no, I've been working on some now.
So did you start as someone who put pen to paper, or did you start with the computer stuff right away?
Well, I would say properly computer. Because when I was younger, I would do pen to paper. But the thing is, I never really had a proper understanding. I was always more logic brained, which I think is left, as opposed to the artistic creative side, which I think is right. I was always more left brained, but as I got older, I got a better understanding of things, of shapes, of concepts, and it actually helped my right brain develop a better understanding.
Yeah. I'm one of those guys that's switch-handed. It does things both lefty and righty, and drops things with both hands. So I'm
I think he cut.
Yeah, are you hearing me? Okay. I say that.
Yeah.
I say I do things with both hands. I'm ambidextrous. I drop things with both hands very easily, and I do some of the things that need accuracy with the left hand, and anything that needs a little power with the right hand. Like throwing a baseball was right-handed, batting was left-handed, riding is left-handed.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, golfing was right-handed, and racquetball was right-handed. But doing it left and right, it means I didn't mess up my swing, and they weren't very good to start with, so that's probably a good thing. I could remain just as mediocre as I eventually became in those sports. But you talk about the left brain, right brain stuff. I would have no idea where mine is mapped, actually. After all that, us lefties. I started as a lefty, but early on if you're talking about left-handed in 1970 going to school and you lose stuff, you have to use a right-handed person's stuff.
Yeah, because I know that typically left-handed is more rare, so I imagine getting anything for that would probably be a nightmare, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Plus, right-handers can't do anything with their left hand, so that's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's absolutely useless.
I'm a little disappointed in myself. I missed an opportunity for a prime pun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and missing things as a left-handed person would be a right-mare.
Yes, there you go. There you go. That's that kind of agility you need.
It's true. Unfortunately, though, I'm extraordinarily clumsy because I get nervous at times, and then I'm like,
And then when you're done with stream, you go, ah, 2 hours ago I could have done that. Yeah.
Every time without fail.
Just turn on the stream just to say that word and turn it off again.
Oh, pretty much.
Edit that in, folks. So for you getting in front of the microphone, was it tough, easy? Were you nervous?
Oh, there was nerves to begin with, but I think for the most part, I've always been. I'm a decently social person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as more time has gone along, like I've always had like a quote unquote like social friendly dog personality, like somebody who wants to come up and say hi and be social, but at the same time, it's getting a little more difficult as you get older. You realize not everyone's into that.
Yeah.
So I started off a little nervous, but as time has gone on, I've definitely gotten to be a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Social.
Open.
Open. Yeah.
Open.
Open is a good.
Easy to
is a good
approach.
way. It's you'll take the initiative at times.
I will definitely try.
Yeah.
I admittedly, I am more worried about coming off as a nuisance than anything. So that does get to be quite difficult, especially if you try to organize any kind of collaboration effort.
Oh yeah, I would imagine so. If you have that type of thought about yourself a little bit, and you're kind of asking people you kind of barely know, you want to do, and you get one, no, I can't. And then you're like, okay, and then you don't talk to anybody for the rest of the year.
Yep.
Yeah, that's sort of
maybe not to that extent, but it definitely is. It definitely is in that ball field.
Yeah, yeah, and two, it doesn't mean that they don't want to do it; they just can't do it at that time, or something along those lines.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So
unfortunately, my brain is very much an overactive thinker.
Yeah.
So it does make it difficult. Yeah. I'm not as nervous as I used to be. Yeah. And for the most part, I've gotten a lot better about realizing, hey, just because someone says no, that doesn't mean they hate your guts.
Yeah. I've gone the other way. I just figure everybody hates my guts and just go with it.
Oh, maybe that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, because if they hate me and they say no, I'm like, I expected it.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to approach it.
Lower expectations. That's the key to success. If you have no expectation, then anything is good. You haven't been in radio.
That is true.
I was in radio for too long.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that before. It's very interesting because I've actually met a few people who've done radio recently, and I've been curious about like messing with audio. I was mentioning audio workstations and the like, so kind of curious.
Yeah, you want to be a dial spinner?
I have. Okay. When you say dial spinner, you mean like more or less the person that uses the mixer and everything, make sure that audio levels are correct, right?
Yeah.
I've actually done some of that stuff with volunteering.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you guys.
It hasn't been super in depth. It's mostly just been like we've got this stuff set up for the most part, but if you need to adjust things, then yeah.
Oh, we need more people who can do that. I can probably get along with it, but I used to work these boards that were gigantic in radio, and I worked overnight, so I got to use every little bit of it because I experimented with it. But with what you have now is so much different than 40 years ago.
And that's the thing too is since these boards are like, I had a little familiarity going into them because using software like OBS is effectively like in nature it's a digital version of a mixing board, but much more simplified.
Yeah. I still like having the buttons though.
Oh no, it is nice to have the digital, and a lot of people have an audio interface.
Yeah,
and it does allow for that. And I don't have any of that yet. It's purely digital on my end, but I'd like to get that in the future.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun.
There's something something different about being able to push up the pot and mix the things together that way. It's very like an alchemist almost, like a mad scientist
Mm-hmm.
putting that stuff together.
It's that analog sensation that just feels so good.
Yeah, and you get to control it, and the computer doesn't control it. And it just sometimes you need to have that little error that makes it even better than it would be if you just let AI do everything. And you can tell that on old CDs. The first line of CDs that came out were off of analog masters. So
Really?
yeah, so people were getting these things and thinking they're terrible because you heard every pop and click of an edit. And
Interesting.
And edits weren't like you do now. Press a button. They were cut the tape physically and then put it back together with a piece of tape.
No kidding.
Yeah, and that was the way it was until the late 80s. So all of this stuff is, everything you get off the old masters was analog, and you'd hear it. So when you had, that's why you got so many record albums in the late 90s and early 2000s that were remastered, because they mix it down now for a digital master, and it would sound much better on the CD.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's actually quite interesting. I've been recently I've been growing, I'm sorry, I get tongue-tied quite often.
Don't worry about that.
More or less what I was just going to say was I've been getting a lot more interested in various forms of history, be it like military history, be it like ancient history, be it music history, etc.
Yeah.
So hearing this is actually really fascinating.
Yeah. I was kind of there for the start of it when it came out, and we were still playing music off of reel-to-reel tapes. Yeah, for quite a long time, because that was how our automation systems worked back in the day. The first sign that announcers were being phased out were the automation systems, and then came the satellites, which then took everything out. And COVID helped too. But that was all on reel, so you had to, if you were going to edit it out, you literally had to cut and paste and slap and do this. It was very. It took a long time. And if I was to put together at a radio station a 30-second commercial, and first of all, you're not going to get a first generation when you're done. It's just not going to be that way if you're mixing a commercial. Now I have to copy that onto 10 other reels to send it in the mail to somebody so they can play it.
Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah. So you're losing all that much, and hopefully the post office doesn't throw it in front of a magnet. Because then it gets...
I never even thought of the magnet angle.
Yeah. We get commercials that were just nothing on the reel. Because they sat next on a magnet or something. But then now you can make the commercial first generation, stick it on an email, and they're playing it in seconds.
I will say, technology has gone some very interesting ways recently. Some not so good, some really good. But
yeah.
I will definitely say the convenience is nice. We save a lot of time.
It is. It's very much nice. And there was nothing like in the day opening up a closet at the radio station and seeing just piles of 12-inch audio tape. And like, okay, you need to go through those and figure out which ones we need to get rid of. Great.
Oh, man.
Hours of tape to go through. But the fact is now that we've got so much great technology that the world is very small in as far as that goes. And you get to have an audience all over the world by just opening the mic.
Yeah, that is honestly a really nice thing, because I've been recently meeting and talking to people from Indonesia, from India, from Japan, and obviously America and mostly in Canada. But it honestly is just how global everything is kind of incredible when you stop and think about it.
Yeah, and I really do think that you're going to see more different languages eventually. I definitely think you're onto something there. Yeah, I really think that Spanish is a very open market, and when I've talked to folks from South America and Central America, and even Spain for that matter, that are doing this, and English is their second language, and they do well. But I'm thinking, wow, if you guys could just corner the audience in Spanish, you'd have a lot of people.
It's true.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I've seen. Oftentimes, you'll see like there are certain cultures when somebody's speaking English, but then suddenly they switch to their native tongue. Like everyone who is that same nationality just pops off in the chat.
Oh yeah.
And it's always so fun.
Yeah. I see that with folks from the Philippines and folks from Indonesia. They'll switch back and
absolutely.
forth. And I'm like, I understand what you said until that point. They don't know what they're talking about. But I don't know what they're talking about.
But no, I think it's really fun because it just goes to show like how international everything has become.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was just going to keep expanding. There's so many people that don't even know it exists yet. That there's no point in really going against each other for listeners or watchers.
Yeah.
There's still marketing to be involved. Have you gotten into much of that with your channel?
Oh, marketing is a struggle. Unfortunately I've never had like the best business mind. But I'm trying to learn more about it as I go.
Yeah.
Mostly using social media, which can be kind of a nightmare because sometimes I think I'm doing right, but I don't have all the time to like really like sit down and go over the proverbial master's degree that is social media algorithm.
Yeah, and always changing stuff depending on who's the CEO this week.
Yeah, pretty much.
It changes, but there are a few basics that carry over from even the old radio days, such as knowing who your audience is, who your potential audience is, and
that one's a bit of a struggle because, admittedly, like when I started and even now I'm pretty small. Like my average concurrent viewer can range somewhere between two or three up to 6 or 7 if I'm lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But that's mostly just because like sometimes I often do a variety of games, which can be nice, but some people only click with a certain thing.
Some do, yeah, and it's really more of a question of getting the fish to the boat and then reeling them in.
Yes,
you bring somebody there. If say somebody was a particular type of streamer, look for a Discord that has that type of thing, and if you can get into somebody else's Discord, maybe they'll recognize you and try to work with people in the same type of genre. There's networking all the time, and
yeah. No, please go ahead.
No, I said you can do that with YouTube as well. I mean, you can put shorts on YouTube and kind of lead them to your channel.
Yeah, that is something that I've been looking into doing more. Is I've actually been kind of curious about the whole video editing and the like, because I've done a little bit of it in the past.
Yeah,
but not enough to the point where I could be like, I properly understand how this tool works.
Yeah, it is a lot different. I'm glad for it.
That's true.
Because I don't. Folks who've watched the videos know that I don't do a lot of video anything. Video tried to kill this radio star, but it only maimed me. Okay, I got a shot to the knee. But I just use it basically a static picture because I don't want to spend 100 hours doing video.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah,
and besides, if it's meant to be more of a radio show, then at that point you're just doing yourself a service.
Yeah. Nobody needs to see what I look like. I was on a billboard once, and it was like 16 accidents. No one wants to see that. One of them was mine. And the entire thing about folks on the internet is that and this streaming it's a personality-driven thing. And if someone comes and watches you play a game and then they drop off when you don't play that game anymore, then they were on for the wrong reason.
Yeah, because at that point they're there just for the sake of the game. And I've definitely become... the more I do this, the more I'm coming to understand and properly internalize those different lessons.
Yeah.
Because I definitely understand that if someone is there when I'm doing one thing, but they're gone when I'm doing something else, I know that ultimately they probably would not have stayed around. Though I have to admit a degree of disappointment when it happens.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can always. You have everybody's permission to hate people. I mean, to be disappointed in people. But just don't show it, and just keep flying with it. If you get a raid, say you were doing a raid and you were doing and somebody raided you with 500 people, which, first of all, good luck. I hope that happens to you.
First
Secondly,
of all, I would say I would probably be like, hold on, let me compose myself for a minute here.
So say you start off with 5 people. Now you got 505, and then after the raid is over, you've got 3. So you didn't keep any of them. And
there's a lot of different factors that go into things like raids, and it's like maybe somebody just finished streaming for 6 hours and people only had enough time to watch them. Maybe they just aren't in the mood for someone new. There's a lot of different factors. I'm guilty of the raid and fade myself, so I can't exactly hold people to anything.
There's nothing wrong to it. I'm just saying that's what happens. I mean, it says you don't always click right away with them, and if that happens to you, don't think that it's the end of the world, because first of all, if somebody's got 500 people watching them, that means that they're extremely popular, and 500 people are probably tuning in every week for them, not for you.
It's true.
And then when they come in, if they're devoted and they're parasocial folks, you probably don't want them there anyway. And if a few of them stick around and catch on, then wonderful. But raids aren't necessarily the be all and end all of things.
Absolutely.
And it might take a little while for you to get those folks to come back. The entire concept of marketing for VTubers is going to be intense over the next several years.
It's true. Like even right now, it is pretty tense, and like even when the Western boom really started during COVID, I think it really went ham at the time.
Yeah. Now there's merchandise and all that stuff I don't know nothing about. That's a whole nother kettle of fish, and a lot of the stuff that happened with individual VTubers involved that sort of thing. But if you're talking about listeners, right now there's not a pie to be divvied up because the pie keeps getting bigger. Just worry about who's coming to you, and don't worry about who's coming to somebody else.
That's right.
Yeah, and go from there. But so, have you got any? When you came into streaming, did you have any big plans as far as having a certain amount of watchers, or being at a certain point at a certain time?
No, not really. Actually, I went into it with pretty humble expectations. Like if people stopped in, if people watched me, subscribed, or donated, anything like that, or even just like stuck around to chat, I would be pretty happy with that, honestly.
Yeah. How did you feel when you got your first person coming back?
Oh gosh, it's a great feeling when people come back. If anything, it feels like, hey, maybe I have a decent personality. People actually want to spend time with me, and that feels nice.
Yeah. It's I want to say redeeming, but that's not quite right. It's more a wind beneath your wings sort of thing. Like, yeah, I'm really supposed to do this.
Yeah. Like it reinforces you.
Yeah, and gives you that impetus to do it again and come back for more. Some people just get bigger growth than others. That's all there is to it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, things like luck, sometimes being in the right place at the right time, having the right X for Y for Z. There's always a number of factors.
Yeah, and once somebody does come up with a formula for doing it, ignore them. Because that formula will be used by a bunch of people and will be beaten to death.
Yes, it will be relevant for all of 1 second.
Yeah, and they'll and folks, your listeners and followers aren't dumb. If 75 people are doing the same type of thing to bring in listeners, then they're going to see right through it. Just everybody's got a chance to be themselves and be more of themselves than they are in real life. And does it help you to have that avatar to be more open with folks online?
I've been doing a lot of thinking on it lately because, on one hand, like the avatar definitely, it feels like it's almost like an ideal version of me. Like sometimes you see someone say like, this is like my ideal whatever. And yeah, to some degree, I know a lot of, like I see a lot of people who do a combination of both VTubing and just regular streaming as well.
Yeah.
I've been kind of curious about it, but at the same time, I'm not sure. I think I might just stick to the avatar.
Yeah. And There's some people who change it every once in a while or a lot,
Yeah,
depending, and
'cause
that's
I feel
perfect.
like for some people the avatar is just a character they play. Some
Right.
people it's a representation of like their ideal selves.
Absolutely.
It's all a number of things.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. So many different talents and so many different
Hmm.
things. You got some people who are on to do lectures. You have some people who are on to do artwork and music and such, and just
Yeah,
yeah,
because I've been following a lot of bigger, well, maybe not big names, but like people that do a lot of like really well respected work, like people who are really good at what they do,
yeah,
be it music, be it art, be it streaming, be it whatever, what have you.
yeah.
And it makes me think is like, yeah, shoot, sorry,
It got away.
it's yeah, something it got away halfway there. The train left the station.
It was a good start though.
But yeah, yeah,
You
it was
watch
good.
these other people do it, and then you and do you put in watching other people and their success? Do you put pressure on yourself?
A little bit.
Mm.
I have to be honest. I do put a little pressure on myself, but I think it's mainly just because it's like I want to be better.
Hmm.
Like I'm a big proponent of self improvement.
Hmm.
Like even if it's a little day by day, I do want to be better. So like I guess if anything, like if I was to see the results of that through I don't know numbers or something else like that, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'm not doing so bad.
Mm. Yeah, and again, it's a question of what you want to do with it. If you're out here, there's going to be people who are going to try to make a living off of it, and there are going to be people who
Yes.
want to do it as a hobby, maybe on once a month.
Yeah.
You know, it's open for that, and the paths can cross all the time. I don't see why not. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but if you don't have a goal, you don't have to set one.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing too, because a lot of people always mention it's like, what are your dreams? What are your goals? And the thing is, like, life is always changing. So I think if anything, it's good to have them,
Yeah,
but I think it's also good to have them be a little flexible.
yeah, yeah. Don't beat yourself up with it. If as long as you're enjoying yourself and you're not
Yes.
selling yourself out to, because there's nothing I can't imagine going on and watching somebody who is fairly successful, but you can tell they hate every single minute they're on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, boy, this isn't going to go well. uh,
It's true, because
and
we've seen it a lot on YouTube in recent years as
yeah,
well.
yeah, and they just don't enjoy it anymore, and then they switch up and do something, and hopefully people come back for that. But you have to be. I talk about being agile with what you do, and
Mm-hmm.
you're
Oh
doing
yeah,
yeah,
improv is a huge skill to
absolutely.
have, especially in a field like this.
Yeah, and I know I've interviewed a few people who do improv outside of this, and I'm like, this is perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Irium stuff, improv is. I mean, you pretty much have to anyway. Um,
It's true.
yeah, and yeah, so do you think that you could go up on stage and do an improv?
I think I would give it an honest shot. I think I could probably give a decent 6 out of 10, maybe 6.5, 7 if I'm lucky.
Mm,
Because the thing is, my skills are unrefined.
yeah,
I give it some time and I give it a little bit of dedication. I think I could do well.
yeah, yeah. It makes a big difference. You got a great voice for it, and the the personality matches it, and it really does. It creates a very entertaining atmosphere.
Oh,
Um,
it's much appreciated.
yeah,
I have to say the compliments are quite welcome.
yeah. And that's as long as you're enjoying yourself, and the people who are watching are enjoying yourself.
Hmm.
There's no reason to not keep doing it, as long as it's not affecting everything else you're doing in your life.
Yes, that is a big part. Is like it, like it's I think the biggest thing is like if you're having an off day or like you're just like emotionally you're not there, it can be really difficult to sometimes sit yourself down and be like, I really shouldn't do this, and I have to understand like it's best to take a day off.
Yeah. Then turn on the microphone and immediately just be a downer to everybody that comes in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because I have to admit I have done that.
yeah.
And it never turns out well. I finish the stream frustrated at myself and at what I did.
First thing people come on, they hear, "Go away."
Uh,
I would actually see that just once. Somebody is just curl up on there and just stay away from me. Don't come to the set. That they probably get 10,000 people by the time they're done. And
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'll especially if they like get a cat avatar,
yes,
go the 10 yards, a particularly surly cat.
yes, that would work perfectly. That would.
Love me, get the hell away from
Yes,
me.
get away from me. So when you're doing your art stuff online, do you get you get any backseat artists?
Well, actually, what I did recently is I took an existing streamer's design, like their dress, and I was kind of curious because I wanted to make fan art. So I took it and I adapted it into a swimsuit for summer.
Wow.
And actually, it wasn't so much backseat. It was actually just like kind of like sharing ideas back and forth. But I have to say, I don't think I've ever experienced backseat. Well, I have experienced some backseating, but not to a great degree.
Yeah, yeah. There's a difference between backseating and offering suggestions.
Yes, absolutely. When it comes to art, I don't think I have experienced backseating yet.
Yeah, that's good. I could imagine. First of all, if I were to do backseat art, I would just be arrested because my art is that bad. It's not going to happen. I wouldn't inflict that on anybody. But you get somebody like, oh, I wouldn't do it that way. I do it this way, and I do it this and that. Mm-hmm. That's backseating.
Oh yeah. Now that you mentioned that, no. Luckily, I have not received that yet.
Yeah. Now somebody's saying, you know, what if you did this? That's different. That's just couching it as indifferent.
Those suggestions I have received actually, and while I was making the design for the swimsuit, I did have somebody who was I had a few people in my chat who were actually making suggestions, and we were bouncing off each other. And some of the elements and the design are still there.
Yeah, and it's still communication when it comes down to it, and how to work it. And people I think are both learning how to better communicate and how to worse communicate this way.
Yeah, I see that.
Now they're communicating with more people, but sometimes they go off the deep end and go into more unhealthy ways of communication. And it doesn't happen as often as it could, thankfully. But I see most people are doing it. Sounds like to me you are thoroughly enjoying yourself with it.
I do enjoy myself. Of course, there's aspects in life can make streaming difficult, but truthfully, when I can push past that, when I can just focus on the here and the now and just stream something that I enjoy, and people come in, they chat with me about either be it the game, the art, or just what's going on. It's a really great feeling because it just feels like everyone's just gathered up inside of a big old living room, and they're all just kind of doing their own thing and chatting with one another.
Yeah. They're inviting you into their life. Is what's going on. I always thought on the radio. I always thought that you're a guest. They've invited you in. They're not. They're not your guest online because you're going to be there no matter what. You're waiting for them to show up. Them to come invite you.
It's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and some folks have just the personality that's the other way around. Maybe it works for them. Good. But that to me I would rather have it the other way. It does allow for better communication, I think, especially for smaller streamers. Now, if you had 500 people, it'd be pretty tough to get every Biff, Bob, and Joe. In the comments.
I try to empathize a lot, and I try to understand different situations. Yeah. So I always wonder, what's it like having such an active and fast going stream? Because I don't know if you've ever tuned into some of the big the big name streamers on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah,
but man, their chat goes by in a flash.
Yeah, that's just why you have the super chats and stuff like that. And they may actually catch the pink as it goes by.
It's true. And some people actively go back and read those at the end of streams as well, which is also good.
Yeah, it is good, and kind of makes people stay to the end of the stream too, which is also marketing.
That is true. I have to say, it is kind of brilliant in that sense.
Sometimes you can use a little bit of weasel abilities to get marketing done, and it's perfectly fine. That's one of the ways to do it. That's one of the ways to do it.
It's true.
So if I tuned into one of your streams right now, what would you be playing?
Good question. My computer's a little on the weaker side, so I haven't been able to play some of the newest and hottest stuff. Mm-hmm. But typically, I like to go. Like, I grew up with a lot of Zeldas, a lot of Mario's, etc. So I do typically tend to play games of that nature, like a lot of platformers, a lot of adventure stuff.
Yeah.
Right now, like, I don't really have any new games per se. I think the last thing that was quote unquote new I played was the climbing game Peak.
Oh yeah. That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, stuff I regularly do though, like I do you know about randomizers.
Oh yeah.
For video games.
Yes.
So like Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is my favorite game. Like it's one of those games I go back to like annually to do a playthrough.
Yeah.
So oftentimes I've been actually playing through the randomizer of it, and it breathes a lot of life into old games that I really enjoy.
Yes, and it breathes a lot of stress on everything else.
It certainly can, especially if you're missing one key item that you need to progress, and it's just like, it's like on the opposite side of the world in like a tiny little corner hidden underground over top of 3 boulders.
Yeah. And it could be in any chest. It could be in the first one. It could be in the last one.
But, absolutely.
But it could be anywhere.
I've had some seeds where like one key item I had to wait like because of the system of Majora's Mask, you have to wait like actual time for it to pass, and you have to be at certain points in order to be able to access certain areas.
Right.
So sometimes I have to like sit around with just like picking my nose while like while the game proceeds to like a certain time period, and it's just like, oh hey, it turns out that key item was there.
Well, that's when if you do a VOD afterwards, you can always edit that down.
That is very true. And I'm kind of curious because when I started, I did a lot more VODs. I was a lot more active, but I don't know, somewhere along the way, like life got a little busy and I wasn't able to keep to it quite as much.
Yeah. It does take some work.
It does. It absolutely does. But it was kind of like, it was rewarding being able to go back and be able to see like, I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're still wanting to learn, and as you keep going, you're going to learn more and more. And you're going to be a very handy person to have around for other folks, which will lead to bigger opportunities.
That's very much the hope, because I'm trying to do languages, I'm trying to do different various skills. So yeah, I like learning.
Well, I like talking with you, and I appreciate you coming on.
Of course,
it's a great interview.
I appreciate you having me.
Well, I appreciate everybody coming on and talking with the old man. And we're going to have all the links that we've been able to find for you in the description for the video. Please check out to see what Tenrousei's got going on, and enjoy a wonderful person. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.